Friends, it took Nelson years for him to get out of his usual clothes. Like he wouldn't even wear like cotton. It was all synthetic fabrics. Okay?
Think of the nerdiest kid in high school and then even more nerdier.
And your glasses were always crooked.
Are they crooked right now?
No, they're not because we got them fixed. Remember, because I stepped on them the other day.
Yes.
Thanks, Barbie Parker.
I'll start it this time. Hi.
It's Friday.
Friday.
Well, it's Friday in this recording.
Yes.
Were you just going to sing that one song?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. It's Friday night and the weekend's here. I know the song you were talking about. No, I'm not going
Don't
to
do it because it's going to get stuck in everybody's ear.
It already is. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another That One Couples podcast. I'm Nelson.
I'm Jess. You're so chipper. Okay, I'll have to change my inflection.
Well, you don't have to.
It's Friday. Real quick, when I used to interview for a part-time designer position, I got the job. But then when I was talking to my coworker who basically hired me, she said, "Yeah, Jess, every time you talked on the phone, I was asking myself if you were just waking up because you always sounded sleepy on the phone."
So you're saying you sound sleepy on these podcasts?
Yeah, no, not on the last one. Go check it out, by the way.
Yeah, that last one, it was just mainly you and Claudia. I mean,
Claudia.
Oh, I was looking at Claudia from. I was looking at the Discord channel. I saw Claudia's name.
Hi, Floxy.
I meant Carmia. Sorry, Carmia. But hi, Claudia. How you doing? It was just fun to listen to you ladies talk about things. It was just like, okay, I'll just listen.
It's a good thing that, I kind of appreciate it because you grew up with two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all good in the hood.
Yeah. All right. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about all the
small things. Sing it.
All the small things. Truth brings. Okay.
Oh, you're still going. I just got flashbacks of 7th grade wearing cargo pants that were drawstring waist. You know, it's funny. That stuff is in right now.
Fashion just goes in a circle, right?
Yeah, and I hated that fashion. Now, next thing you know, guys, puka shells are going to be coming back. Did you wear puka shells?
No.
You just wore
odd things that my mom would buy for me. I had no fashion. I was just like, get me to a computer lab. I don't care what I'm wearing.
That's true, because I remember when I first met you, you didn't have any sense of fashion.
Nope. You looked at my closet and you're like, the hell is this?
But look at you now. You're wearing all these really cool shirts that you're famous for.
Oh, yeah. You helped me break out of that. I remember the first time you're like, you should wear polka dots. I was like, what? That's weird. No. Mm-hmm. And then I wore it for the first time and I was like, I feel weird, but different.
No, but here's the thing. Friends, it took Nelson years for him to get out of his usual clothes. Like he wouldn't even wear like cotton. It was all synthetic fabrics. Okay?
Think of the nerdiest kid in high school and then even more nerdier.
And your glasses were always crooked.
Are they crooked right now?
No, they're not because we got them fixed. Remember, because I stepped on them the other day.
Yes.
Thanks, Barbie Parker. But the reason why you felt weird, but then you liked it, is because when we would go out, people would say, what would they say, Nelson?
I don't know. You tell me.
They would go, "Hey, nice shirt." And you would look at them like, you're talking to me? And then for a second, it takes you a second, and then you realize they're talking to you, and you're like, thanks.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you could say it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, and more, my shirts got louder and louder and louder.
But he will not do a Hawaiian shirt.
No.
Those are too loud for you.
Yeah, Hawaiian shirts, like, come on.
You have a limit.
Yeah. All right, so back on all the small things. We wanted to bring this up because while growing a daughter who is now 6.5 years old, we're noticing more and more that she's noticing a lot of things that we're not noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Noticing her noticing.
Looking at me, looking at you, looking at me, looking at
Exactly.
you.
So, what she notices all around the world and that we miss is insects and rocks and pebbles and all the small things. It's those things that we adults just gloss over. And it's just nice to see her through her see the world through her eyes, and she notices these small things, and we have to stop and appreciate. For example, we were just walking her to school, and there was this line of ants near the sidewalk as we're walking to school, and she has to stop and do the full Filipino squat right next to them and just stare. And me trying to be imaginative and make sure that she gets to school on time, I'm like, oh, they're going to work. The ants are going to work, and the other ants are going to school. And it just gives us time to pause. Like, hey, we don't have to rush to school. There's still 10 minutes to get there. Let's pause. And you wanted to bring this up too because of a documentary that you saw.
Yeah, so there's a YouTube documentary. We'll leave it in the show notes. I feel silly saying that, but we'll leave it in the show notes. But it's about the founder of Studio Ghibli, Hayo Miyazaki. And it really talks about his thought process and his inspiration to why he does the lovely films that we all have fallen in love with, right? And he, in the documentary, in the middle of it, the narrator talks about how essentially these movies are for kids. And the reason why he does what he does is because he observes the world almost like in a kid's point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he will draw things knowing that adults won't catch it, but little kids will. And they do. And I just thought it was so interesting because even when Nova stops and pauses, which is a great reminder for us because we are always like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What do we got to do? What's on our to do list? Like you had tweeted what you were going to do today, right? It's a reminder that kids have a full blown imagination that we all once had.
Yeah.
But it just disappeared or it got extinguished in a way because of how we grew up and life situations. And it's just a nice reminder that we could be imaginative, we could be playful, and we can dream,
Yeah.
right? It's just, I look at Nova when she's playing with her Lego sets or drawing and having this elaborate story in her head. And I sometimes tell myself, wow, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I want that imagination. I want that creativity. And even though we are in the creative field, we still have to be somewhat logical, right?
Yeah.
So, and in the documentary on YouTube, it talks about how when you're logical, all creativity goes out the door.
Yeah.
And I think that's the balance that we try to create with our work is having creativity but still being functional.
Yeah.
And maybe for me, that's why I always put inside jokes in my designs
Yeah.
because I have to entertain myself some way somehow.
Yeah.
A good example of that is, so I used to work for a product flashlight company, right? And I would have to do PDQ trays. It's those things that are in a box, and then when you open the box and you put it on the shelf, it turns into a pop-up tray. So then you could display all the products, like in trading cards or candy bars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had to make one for, I think, Walmart, and I was so uninspired because it was production work. I ended up putting a portrait of my mom's face on the bottom of the tray. It really small. Like
Yeah.
you would have to zoom in, like probably like 300% in.
Okay.
But no one noticed it. It got approved. It got printed.
Nice.
So somewhere for a while, my mom's face was on the bottom of a PDQ tray.
Yeah. I think Easter eggs in
Websites.
in websites or movies um, are good because you just get to have fun. When I was building Ophelia, it's basically a customer support site, a community support, but for those notifications that say like you've done this, you've seen it all over apps and whatnot, and it's a little notification that goes away after 5 seconds.
Did you say no vacation?
I said notifications. And I figured, you know what? It shouldn't just be a message. There should be a GIF in there. And so yeah, I still just want to have fun, and that's how I add fun and personality to my sites. But back on Studio Ghibli, it really, yeah, after watching it, it's a lot to do with web design as well. I guess with graphic design, because like you're playing that logical and creative balance and still having fun. But it got to a part where he was presented something with some team showed him AI, how CGI and AI can help with his movie making, because he's all hand drawn. And that's why it takes a long time for his movies to be made.
Especially now because the frame rate is so high compared to back in the 80s and the 90s, right?
Yeah. I think film is still 23 point something frames a second. So, but I don't know why frame rate needs to be higher. But yeah, computers versus hand drawn, I understand where he's coming from. He's like, if computers remove the soul out of a creativity project, and so when I'm seeing stuff when it comes to websites that are being done through AI or templates and everything, I'm like, okay, there's people that need that, just need something quick. But I try to use some of those AI tools. At the end, I'm like, I just need to do it from scratch by hand. I need to do it from a place of love and not use AI to dictate what I'm going to do. And so maybe I'm taking the slower route, but to me, that's where I love web design, when it gets to the point where I can start from a blank screen and just imagine.
Do you find it easier, or is it you just love the process?
I love the process. I love the process. Like right now, I'm working on a spec website for Elevation Culture. And to be honest, when I came up with the idea of what the layout was going to be like, I was just laying down, taking a nap. And before I took a nap, I was just thinking of boxes. I know the whole web is all just boxes, but for some reason, he has 6 races. Well, he has 5, and then like a couple others that are coming soon. But in my head, I'm like, okay, that's 6 boxes. 6 is a great number to work with, easy number of boxes to make responsive. And then my head just kept on spinning around this number 6 and boxes and where they can lay out. And that's how I got to the design right now. And I'll put it in the show notes too of what the site looks like. And I started with Reloom Library and asked AI to create a sitemap and create a wireframe. And I was staring at it, and when I did my first go with using Reloom, I felt something was missing. And I was just trying to put a circle in a square hole, It was like it'll fit, but then some corners have to be cut. But then when I just did it from scratch, it felt so much better, and I was having so much more fun.
So you took the Miyazaki route.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's similar to why a lot of my creative friends, they get Squarespace, they understand the need for it, but then when they try it, they just end up getting frustrated because they're just stuck in a box, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I wanted you to do something like this, and I'm trying. It's taking me 3 times as long to force it versus if I just did it from scratch.
Yeah. I'm not saying AI is bad, but like
or Squarespace is bad, like different strokes for different folks, right?
If there's a need for it, then go for it.
Yeah.
But like when I want to do something that, like I was looking for a left side navigation component on Reloom Library, and I searched for navbar, didn't show. All of them were all on the top.
Yeah.
all these top sticky mega menus. I'm like, cool. I don't want that. I want you to create a left side nav. They don't have a component for that. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do it myself.
Right. Well, I love the Reloom library.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I love it personally because, web development isn't my forte. Like, I know how to do it, but if there's a tool for me to work off of something and I
Yeah.
can manipulate it, I'm down.
Yeah. But like, you know, if
But
you
I
need
know
a
what
quick
you mean.
landing page
Yeah,
or a quick microsite or something, like, boom,
Yeah.
that'll get it done.
totes.
But this elevation culture one, I'm like, no, I can't.
It has to be custom.
Has to be full custom.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. That process of just putting your heart into a project that you feel like is going to help a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it will because you saw a problem
Mm-hmm.
and you came from a different perspective and you wanted to try to fix it and make it better, right? And that's
Yep.
why we do what we do, right?
Yeah.
Problem solvers.
So
But to go back to Studio
Ghibli.
Ghibli,
The new GIF.
what is your favorite Studio Ghibli movie, Nelson? And why?
Well, it has to be Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. That was the first one I've seen. And it was just lovely. It was just nice. It was simple and it was very imaginative. I love the characters. And the close second would be Ponyo. And that's the first one I watched with you. But all the other ones I haven't really watched. I think I've watched Howl's Moving Castle. And that one was kind of weird to me. But I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And I don't know, Spirited Away, that weird blob thing. I'm sorry. I
His
couldn't
name is
watch
No Face.
But it had a mask. So there was a face.
But if he takes off the mask, he has no face.
Okay, is it like Avatar? It's a face
He's
stealer?
a spirit.
Yeah.
We're just staring at each other right now because
Okay.
Nelson looks confused.
Yeah, I
still.
am. I'm sorry. I didn't watch that one, but you love that one.
I love Ponyo too. And I think you and me get giddy with the part with the instant ramen scene
Yeah.
when the mom's cooking the ramen.
Yeah. We always have to say, like, ham.
But I don't know, like, why do you like that scene with the ramen and the magic trick?
It's simple.
I think it's
simple.
nostalgic.
How is it nostalgic? I never had ramen until I met you.
Really? That's what my grandma used to make.
But the documentary is really good. And the last thing about it is, like, you know, how his message is just, you know, to live life, you know, and take a moment to pause and be a kid.
And I think a lot of his philosophy and thought process is quite insightful, like you said, for someone in the creative industry, even if you're not into animation, just to get a different way of thinking and how to approach not just your work, but life.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing that I caught from the documentary that goes to web design is that, you know, putting a soul into your work. Another thing about it is what I like to tell people about their portfolio sites all the time is your hero row on your homepage should have some sort of personality to it. It could be a photo of you, it could be illustration of you, but you represent your portfolio. That is your portfolio. Don't just hide behind text. Don't just say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm a Webflow designer developer. Here's my work. You know, and you've done that with our site, thatonecouple.com, and our personality is right smack there. And it's, you know, we put a soul into our website. It's not just a portfolio. It's, this is us. This is what we believe in. And we're not going to try to sell you work. We're trying to show you who we are and put love into our work.
Yeah, you get the whole package. So if you like our work, then you get us. If you like us, you get our work.
Yeah.
And it's really just about being yourself, you know?
Yeah, and that's what
Either you take it or you don't take it. And we're cool with that.
Hayo Miyazaki has taught me for from that documentary. What's your last thoughts on it?
To just strive to be better.
Yeah,
I mean, even though shit gets hard, you just gotta keep moving.
like right now.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god, I feel the tears coming out of my eyeballs and I must suck them in. Okay,
Keep
it's
it
gone.
in.
My
right.
black soul overpowered it. I'm good.
All right.
I'm back.
All right. Now, last thing I wanted to talk about is to keep things topical. Grace Walker, she is an independent Webflow designer and developer. She posted a tweet, a Twitter poll, X poll, whatever you want to call it. She's asking, if you've done both, which did you find more challenging? Starting a business or having a baby? Now we're looking at the poll results right now. She posted this back in October 18th at 7:35 a.m. And yeah, she responds to it saying, "This is the kind of dumb question you ask before having kids. I know they aren't the same. Just want to hear stories." So the winner of the poll is having a baby by 52%. So that's really close. But yeah, we were about to talk about this morning, but go ahead, your take. You said
It's a very general question, and I'm like, me being me, I'm like, I need specifics. Like, is this like time? What's the time frame? Like,
yeah,
first 6 months, first year, infinity. Like, how do you want? I'm reading it, and I'm thinking the first year.
okay, let's take it
6 months.
let's take first 6 months and then the first year. So first 6 months, which one's harder? Having a baby, or no, starting a baby or having a business?
Wait. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm getting PTSD. Give me a second.
Oh.
Hold on.
So my to help, my answer was having a baby is harder than starting a business. And when we first spoke about this, that's what I said. But you said having a business is harder.
You make a good point because if you think about it, starting a business and having a baby, you don't really sleep, but you get more sleep when you're starting a business. Like when you have a baby, you get probably most 4 hours in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? So
Less if you're a mom.
yeah. And then this is so hard. This is why the
First 6 months.
My gut is saying starting a business is harder.
Okay.
Because
Why?
in the first 6 months, having a baby is, yeah, you're not sleeping, but they are on a full blown schedule. So they are on a pattern. So they poop, they eat, they sleep, they poop, they eat, they sleep, they poop every 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of on a schedule.
Okay.
And then the best part is that when you're breastfeeding, you just eat as much food as you want and water. But with a business, for me, starting a business is a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
Especially if you start off with all these referrals and for the first couple months, it's like really good. And then after those jobs are done, it's like silence. So then it's you're wondering,
Yeah.
how can I get more clients? And I know we talked about it a little bit over breakfast, and I remember I said it's like that one Sandra Bullock movie where she has to wrap her eyes and not see anything.
Eyes wide shut. No,
No, that's Tom Cruise. That's the
Shit.
weird orgy movie. Never watched it. Just heard the reviews. Swear to God.
I was thinking, oh my God.
Anyway, no, but it's that one where she's sitting on the boat and there's
Yeah.
like that meme.
I've never watched it,
So
but go ahead.
that's for me is like how I envisioned it. Starting a business is that you're blindfolded, and then with a baby you have your hands over your eyes, but then you're peeking through your fingers, kind of thing. That's how I saw it.
Like you're looking through one eye.
Or yeah, or
rather than just completely blindfolded. Now you're okay. So when I first, like I said, I chose having a baby as the harder one. Now you're making me want to change my mind because Yeah, that makes sense that kids do get on a schedule. But at any moment that schedule can change.
Oh yeah, with like 6 months sleep regression.
Yeah. And yeah,
Or when they're sick.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
still having a baby I think is harder because starting a business, you can Google a lot of stuff that people have done. You can YouTube stuff and you can get tips. You can go on Twitter Spaces. You can ask anyone almost at any moment for help. Whereas you need help with your kid for the first 6 months, it's like, where do you really go? No one really knows your kid, and you're still learning your kid.
Are you saying that the advice that you get from starting a business is more concrete versus a kid where it's a little more antiquated?
Yeah.
The same could be applied to like a business. You know, when people are what's those salesy ones that you hate? Where
Growth hackers.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I could see that. Like if you have a development question, you're like,
Yeah.
well, how could I fix it? Or
Yeah.
automation question, how do
Yeah.
I fix this? And someone will know the definite
Yeah.
answer.
Or you can
Sure.
just AI, ask, I need code for such and such. Just
Oh man, can you imagine if we had Nova as a baby and AI was robust back then?
now you're getting into Wally status, where robots are taking care of the kids and growing them to be exactly what we want them to be and not the other way around.
Didn't we say that Wally was basically a prediction of the future?
Yeah, and then we go into Jamiroquai. I'm gonna sing again.
Okay, go.
The future's made of virtual insanity. now.
Okay, we need to have a karaoke podcast of just Nelson sing karaoke because I do not sing, but I could just
Do it.
no,
Do it.
no.
One podcast will get you to do it. How many drinks?
Couple.
It'll happen in the future. I promise everyone who's listening,
No.
she's going to sing on the podcast.
No.
Yes.
Negative Batman.
All right. But yeah, if you're listening, what are your takes on this poll? Which one is harder in the first 6 months? Starting a business or having a baby? And we'll put in the show notes a link to the tweets. There's a bunch of responses from the community, but we want to get your take too. Yeah. So anything else you want to talk about?
No. Well, you have a trail run coming up this weekend.
Tomorrow.
Y'all, friends, it's his first trail run. 5K. I'm so proud of him. Mm-hmm. You excited?
I'm just like, whenever it comes to events, even the speed build challenge, I'm like,
Really?
yeah, I'm like, it's not until, and I've told you this, even if we're going to like a theme park or something, or we're going to have a vacation or something, I don't get excited until the day of. Because I'm like, okay, it's coming, whatever. And then when it happens, it's like, oh, okay, cool.
It's trail runs are so much fun. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a trail runner. I'm laughing because I take breaks in the summertime because I don't like running in the heat, even though it's important to be heat training. But I just love trail running so much because it's a moving picnic. Every 3-4 miles is an aid station full of food, like peanut butter sandwiches, bananas, chocolate, candy. Sometimes there's alcohol at an aid station, depending. Oh, my favorite is Otter Pops. And then because you are packing so much gear on your trail races, you take Otter Pop and you just shove it in your vest and then you eat it later.
So it becomes a slushy.
Sure, yeah. But I'm excited for you. Nelson Nova's doing a 1 mile race. I will be with her. I will probably carry her after half of a mile. So it will be our race. So
You both will get a medal. And you're super excited about the medals because you said you're...
I'm not getting a medal, but
You probably will.
No, you guys are getting the medal. You guys earned it. So it's a very cool medal. My favorite medals are not the fancy glitzy ones. They're either the leather ones or the wooden ones because they're handmade.
Oh.
Handmade.
Handmade by a laser cutter.
No, but then they're glued and stuff like that by a person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is multi-layered wood medals. You'll see
You don't
it.
think a machine is building
No,
those?
I've seen the race director, he's actually had a video before of the actual person gluing them
wow.
together and spray painting them and stuff.
Probably did it just for the TikTok.
Oh, it was just one. Yeah.
Just one.
It was the prototype.
Yeah, and then the rest is, come on, like.
It was the factory prototype, the one of one.
Exactly. See?
So, but yeah, friends, that's our podcast. Thank you for joining us and hanging out with us.
Yeah. We appreciate all the subscribers. We appreciate you, even if you don't subscribe and you've listened to a couple of the episodes. We're still learning, and we enjoy learning and building in public. And yeah.
Oh, do you want to tell them the next episode?
Yeah, the
What's
next
coming up?
episode, we're going to have Eric, son of Odin. Yes, he will be our next guest on our podcast. Should be fun. But yeah, until then, thank you all so much for listening, and see ya. You're not going to say goodbye?
Bye.
That One Couples podcast is a Pixel Geek LLC production and is hosted by Jessica Cruz-Abalos and Nelson Abalos Jr. Edited by me, Nelson Abalos Jr. Please rate and subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, thanks for making the web beautiful together.